Thank you, Madam Chairman, for putting together this hearing. I'll start with you, Mrs. Hammer. Why has this become partisan? In other words, we're talking about innovation. I don't think there was hearings about the Sears catalog going digital or Blockbuster Video becoming Netflix. Why all of a sudden has this become so partisan for some reason?
Thank you very much for that thoughtful question, Senator. From my perspective, this is not at all a partisan issue. I have been in the financial sector and the legal and regulatory space for more than 25 years, and I became interested originally in blockchain technology and digital assets because of my experience as a trader and portfolio manager. And recognizing the propensity for blockchain and digital assets to bring the attributes of decentralization, transparency, and immutability to our financial sector. That could reduce risk, that could increase financial inclusion, and it can increase efficiencies. And I believe that the best approach to digital asset regulation is one which recognizes our values, our American leadership, and the importance of having a clear regulatory framework that promotes innovation and protects us from malfeasance. I don't at all see this as a bipartisan issue. I see it as an issue which could support American entrepreneurs using digital assets for things from managing their personal energy-related data to increasing the ability to make cross-border payments, and to those who are using digital assets, even for things like healthcare, supply chain management. In my experience at the Wharton School, working with our Emerging Technology Accelerator, I've had the great privilege of working with entrepreneurs who are looking at many of these very interesting use cases. And students are great and talented students who are excited, who are innovating, and who are building companies in the digital asset space. And they are looking for a clear regulatory framework. On that count, I think the United States is a great leader in innovation and in thinking about how this technology can benefit. But on the other counts of having a regulatory framework at all, enshrining our values in statute, and also in terms of our growing our lead in the digital asset space, whereas once in 2021 and 2022, by usage, transaction volume, the United States was by far the world leader.
Would you say part of that is that we got scared? Like at the end of the day, America's always been about fearlessness and bravery. I mean, you think about, we're sitting here and I'm not trying to be funny, a literal swamp, and any proof, just walk outside. And we had people who lived here who said, hey, we're gonna go west. And imagine what it would have been like 200 years ago to get from Washington, D.C. to Ohio, for example. It's certainly not a 45-minute flight on American Airlines. It took enormous bravery, leadership to say, hey, we're not gonna fear the unknown. But it seems like what's holding us back at the big picture here is just genuine fear. And I think the fear is grounded in Mr. Exactopoulos? Yeah, Latino and Greek names are not combined, so my brain doesn't process your name, but I'm gonna call you Greg. Greg, part of it is, like, I think we've just been paralyzed by this idea that the financial system isn't working for Gen Z and younger demographics that are upcoming. I mean, I think those of us who are Gen X, maybe older, tolerate the existing financial system because it's what we've known. But I think in 10 years, when you explain to somebody, hey, that you used to take a physical piece of paper, write a bunch of fancy things on there, sign it, and then you'd mail it to somebody, they would open it, they'd take that physical piece of paper, drop it off at some, what looked to be a retail stop, and then that money got transferred at some point, that our kids would be, come on, it's like saying that you had to go to school in the snow uphill both directions. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. So the financial system today is just not working. It's completely stagnated. And what I hope, I guess, as we talk through this, Madam Chairman, is that we can't lead through fear. Because if we lead through fear, we're going to be Europe. And something you said, Mrs. Hammer, which killed me, is the idea that the EU has caught up to us. I mean, when you think about bravery, boldness, and fearlessness, Those are not the attributes that you'd unfortunately attribute to Western Europe today. So I just challenge this committee that when we're thinking about this regulation, that we understand the system is inevitably going to change. The system that exists today will not be that system. And what we have to do is chart a bold course and I know I'm out of time. I'm just going to throw some quick thoughts here. We need clarity. We need fairness. We need to make certain that the standards are achievable. And we need to make certain that we understand the current system is not perfect. And what we're building is a better system, but not a perfect system. Because if building a perfect system is our standard, then we will never get things done and we will lose this. We want America to lead. We want America to be at the cutting edge of this technology, but we have to do it with total and complete understanding and humility, honestly, that the system cannot be perfect. I know I went over time, but thank you, Madam Chairman. I look forward to working on this going forward.